If you've ever tried using a cookie press for the first time, you know it's not as easy as it looks. I thought I'd be pressing out perfect little cookies in no time. Yeah, that didn't happen. Instead, I got cookies that wouldn't release, dough that refused to cooperate, and a few moments where I seriously considered launching the press across the kitchen. But I stuck with it, learned a lot along the way, and today I'm sharing my cookie press journey, what worked, what didn't, and the biggest lessons I learned. So you don't have to suffer like I did. I started by inspecting all the cookie-shaped discs and putting the press together. And of course, I didn't want to look at the manual because, in my opinion, if a kitchen tool is so complicated that I need a degree to use it, then it's not worth my time. I mean, it's a cookie press, not a spaceship. How hard could it be? So naturally, I went in blind, fully expecting it to be intuitive. Spoiler alert, it was not. The first few attempts felt like I was solving a puzzle with missing pieces. The press wouldn't click together properly, the dough wasn't cooperating, and I started questioning my life choices. But I wasn't giving up just yet. The cookies wouldn't release properly, and I ended up scraping off dough more times than I'd like to admit. I bake a lot, especially during the holidays, and I'm always on the lookout for new recipes to try. If you're the same way, you can visit my holiday cookie playlist for some inspiration. So when I came across a cookie press, I thought, why not give it a shot? It seemed like a fun way to make beautifully shaped cookies without all the rolling and cutting. But before jumping in, I wanted to learn a little more about how cookie presses work and their history. Here's what I found out. Did you know the cookie press has been around for centuries? It actually dates back to European baking traditions, where bakers used handcrafted wooden molds to press out intricate cookie designs. These molds were often carved from wood and used for making beautifully detailed holiday cookies, especially in countries like Germany and Scandinavia. Over time, the cookie press evolved, making it easier for home bakers to create perfectly shaped cookies with less effort. The first modern cookie presses, made of metal, started appearing in the early 20th century, allowing for quicker and more uniform results. Today, we have a variety of designs, from manual presses to electric versions that make the process even easier. I love learning the history behind my baking tools. It makes me appreciate them even more. Knowing that people have been pressing out cookies for generations makes my own cookie press struggles feel like a rite of passage. Now, with all this knowledge in hand, I was ready to take on my own cookie press challenge and see if I could master the art myself. I started with high hopes, loaded up the press, picked a shape, and pressed down, expecting a perfect cookie to appear. Instead, I got nothing, or worse. Half a cookie stuck to the press, while the other half clung to the baking sheet like it was holding on for dear life. Turns out, cookie press dough has to be just right. Too hard, and it won't stick, too soft, and it turns into a shapeless blob. Rookie mistake number 1, but definitely not my last. After multiple failed attempts and a growing sense of defeat, I finally gave in and pulled out the manual. Not for fun reading, but for survival. I needed to figure out how to save my cookies before I lost my patience entirely. Armed with new knowledge and maybe a little humility, I went back to my baking station, determined to get this right. Here's what I learned along the way, in case you run into the same problems. Dough too soft? Chill it in the fridge for 10 to 15 minutes. A slightly firmer dough presses more cleanly and holds its shape better on the baking sheet. If I've already loaded the press with dough and realize it's too soft, I chill the entire press for a few minutes. This quick fix helps firm up the dough without having to reload the press, saving time and frustration. Dough too hard? Add a teaspoon of milk or softened butter and mix until the consistency softens slightly. If the dough is too firm, it won't press out evenly, and you'll end up squeezing way too hard just to get anything to release. I found that adding a little bit of moisture at a time is key. Too much, and suddenly the dough is too soft again. The goal is a dough that's smooth, pliable, and presses out with just a bit of resistance, but not so firm that you feel like you're giving your hands a workout. Baking directly on the sheet? The instructions suggest doing this, but from my experience, it can leave a stain on the pan and make cookies harder to remove. I stick to my trusted method, using parchment paper for easy release and no extra cleanup. Filling the press too much? Don't overfill it. Keeping it 3/4 full gives a better control and smoother pressing. If the press is packed too tightly, the dough doesn't dispense evenly, and you end up squeezing harder than necessary. Plus, overfilling makes it harder to reload the press when needed, causing unnecessary frustration. I found that stopping at 3/4 full gives the best balance. It's enough dough to get a good batch of cookies pressed without straining my hand or having to wrestle with the plunger. Less dough also means fewer air pockets, leading to cleaner, more consistent shapes. So, as tempting as it is to cram it full to save time, trust me, leaving some space makes the process way easier. Room temperature is a game changer when using a cookie press. If the kitchen is too warm, the dough softens too much, making it lose its shape before it even hits the oven. If it's too cold, the dough stiffens, making it nearly impossible to press out clean shapes. I learned the hard way that keeping the dough at the right temperature, between 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 to 22 degrees Celsius, makes all the difference. If my kitchen is too warm, I chill the dough for a few minutes before pressing to keep it from becoming too soft. If it's too cold, I let it sit at room temperature just long enough to make it pliable but still firm. The balance is key, and a few degrees can make or break the perfect cookie. Baking at high altitudes. If you're baking at a higher altitude, you might run into issues with dough consistency and spreading. The lower air pressure can cause cookies to expand too much and bake faster than expected. To fix this, I reduce the sugar slightly, add an extra tablespoon of flour to help the dough hold its shape, and lower the baking temperature by about 10 degrees Fahrenheit or 5 degrees Celsius. I also keep a close eye on baking time, since cookies tend to bake faster at higher altitudes. A small adjustment makes a big difference in keeping Spritz cookies looking as good as they taste. With these fixes, things finally started to click, and my cookies actually looked like cookies. No more shapeless blobs or cookies stuck in the press. Just beautifully shaped Spritz cookies, exactly how I imagined. It was a proud moment, like finally solving a puzzle after hours of trial and error. I watched as the dough smoothly released from the press, forming perfectly shaped cookies that didn't crumble, collapse, or stick to the baking sheet. I took a step back, admired my work, and maybe even did a little victory dance in my kitchen. After so many failed attempts, this felt like a win worth celebrating. Now, I was ready to bake them off and see if they held their shape in the oven. Just when I thought I had it all figured out, I realized that not all cookie press discs are created equal. Some shapes work beautifully, while others just looked like a melted snowflake. I found that simple shapes, like the flower or star, released much cleaner, while intricate ones often got stuck or lost their details. So if you're new to a cookie press like I was, start with the easy designs first before getting fancy. Trust me, your patience will thank you. After a lot of trial and error, and maybe a few choice words, I finally got the hang of it. The right dough consistency, the right surface, and picking the best disc all made a huge difference. Once I got into the rhythm, using a cookie press actually became fun. I will experiment with different dough flavors and decorating techniques in the future, something I never thought I'd get to when I was struggling just to get one cookie out of the press. Here's what I'll remember for next time. Make sure the dough is the right consistency, not too dry, not too sticky. Think Play-Doh, but tastier. Room temperature is key when using a cookie press. If the dough is too cold, it becomes stiff and nearly impossible to press. If it's too warm, dough softens too much and turns into a sticky mess. Start with simple shapes before diving into intricate designs, unless you enjoy frustration. Be patient. It gets easier with practice, and once you get the hang of it, it's actually fun, I promise. So, that was my cookie press adventure. Lots of trial and error, a little frustration, and a few near meltdowns, but totally worth it in the end. I finally got those picture-perfect cookies I was hoping for, and I learned a ton along the way. If you've ever struggled with a cookie press before, I'd love to hear about it. What worked for you, what didn't, and any tips you swear by. Drop a comment below and let's swap baking battle stories. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another kitchen experiment. Want to see how I put my new cookie press skills to the test? In my next video, I'll be making lemon Spritz cookies with cranberry buttercream, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. See you there.